Beechy, it's going to be a tough test here at Mill Farm tomorrow night as Hartlepool come to the Fylde Coast. A chance for us to get back-to-back wins after a really good performance on New Year's Day.
Oh yeah, they'll be in good spirits. Hartlepool had an upturn in resultant form, didn't they, in the change of management, so I'm sure they'll come in with positive vibes themselves, but we've got to make sure that we can become more consistent with our winning traits and behaviours. But in terms of performances, I've been pleased with the lads.
And it's a good opportunity as well for Sam Graham to celebrate his contract extension with hopefully another positive performance from him and H at the back.
Yeah, definitely. Sam has been integral, hasn't he? Integral member of the team since he's come in. He's helped us get better at conceding less. He's helped the team and the physicality in his technical part of his game is good, but his leadership skills, he's not the loudest of players, but he definitely chats and talks, and I think he's really enjoyed his time. So for him to commit to our challenge, I think it's really endearing, because he had opportunities for other things, and he's committed now to the end of the season because he was on a real short-term deal. He was on a week-to-week, and it's thin ice really from our perspective. So I'm really happy he's committed, because he's saying, I'm here, I'm ready to fight, and I want to do something about it.
And his relationship with the skipper as well, it's a formidable centre-back pairing between the two of them. That's going to be really important, no doubt, going into the second half of the campaign.
They're doing all right. We can do more, but I've been pleased with them. Of course they have. You know, that's why the consistent team choices have been made that way. Of course, we've got Amika, but Amika's currently got a bit of a slight injury. We await some specialist information from that. But yeah, them two have been very good.
And going back to the medical room, can you give us some update as to a few of the players who've been out lately and where they're at?
Yeah, we've got sort of Luke Connors been long term, and it's been disappointing, to be honest with you, for many reasons, and I'm sure Luke could share them views, because what turned out to be a groin strain is still not available, and I know he's had a bit of intervention as well, with a couple of injections, and Luke was excellent, wasn't he, last season? So you know, it's been disappointing for him not to be available, and it is, from my point of view, to not be able to sort of consider and choose him. He's getting nearer now, which is great. So he's getting closer. And Owen Evans again is left-footed, so it's funny what can happen. But through their personal discrepancies, always providing football opportunity for others, and obviously me staying close to certain things. Obviously getting Max here was good, because he comes on loan, and he comes as a younger player, finds his feet. And again, he's improved in many domains. I mean, I want his numbers higher, his assists and his goals, only because his left foot's capable. It should be higher for the way he plays, but he's definitely improved defensively, and I think that's a key component when he goes back to Bolton, that he can utilise and try and get in their first team, because I know at that level you definitely need to be able to punch and take a punch, but Max is doing great.
You don't like to talk about individuals, Beechy, I know that, but a word on Danny Ormerod and how he's responded from that superb performance on New Year's Day.
I think his phone's been a bit busy, so I did catch up with him after the game, make sure he was good, he was at home. So he keeps his feet on the ground. His family's great. You know, I've met his mum a few times and his dad, watching him play in the FA Youth Cup. So great family values. I'm not too sure what his dad gets up to, but I know his mum works in the Blackpool Vic in the NHS, so she's given her all for everybody. So he kind of cracks on like that in his football. So he's humble, he's honest, he's a great lad. So yeah, he'll have his feet on the ground and hopefully running a bit more.
Those values seem to be spread across your side, Beechy, honesty, integrity. Is that important to getting us to the position where we need to be?
Yeah, it's important to me. It's how I live my life. It's important. You know, if you look at David's business, he's got them all over his walls at Tangerine. So, you know, it's important to him, and he's very consistent in respect to them sort of behaviours in his business. Successful businessman. But from my point of view, you come across many people in football and many things, and it's really important we can live them out in our actions as a team, because it represents the community. In my opinion, it represents, if I'm a supporter, what I want to see. I want to see hard work, endeavour, honesty. I want to see a team that's hard to play against, but I want to be excited too, and I want a lot of action and shots and creation and individual skill sets, and we create a lot of chances. And I know I said it last week, to keep the belief prior to playing Rochdale again. Over 2 games, I think we had 38 shots to 8. So we both win or beat each other 2-0, but we're dominant. So we've got to make sure our dominance has more tangible value in points, but we've got to keep them traits alive and live them, because they look after us.
Going to the transfer window, we've lost a couple of players that I know you're disappointed to lose, but we've also got that news that we touched upon earlier with Sam committing to the club for the end of the season. How important is this next month going to be to shape where we are come the end of the year?
Yeah, well, good point. I think we need a little bit more support that way, in respect of getting a couple of lads in. We're actually, seeking. I was at a game Saturday when we didn't play. We've got a few things, irons in the fire, as you say, and we can't share them till they bear fruit. But we do need a little bit more support. And currently, if you look at the squad and look at who's currently injured, we've got a smaller squad now. Obviously, there's a couple of lads out on loan. Tom Walker's back, which I'd like to add, and he's looked good in training, to be fair to him. So that's good, and it's good for me to have an extra body on board, and he looks like he wants to be inclusive in it. So we'll see how he goes, and then we've got obviously options to try and support the current group, and it's hard to get it over the line sometimes. It was 10 days ago, 2 weeks, I had a lad in the building showing him around the changing rooms and everything, but he went somewhere else. It's what happens. So you can't get despondent. You don't get it's not personal. You move on, but whoever comes in, I want them to represent and be congruent with them traits.
And finally, Beechy, a massive opportunity again to, like I said at the start of the interview, go back-to-back wins here at Mill Farm. That togetherness is something that you've touched upon time and time again since I joined the football club. So how important is it for us to take that out onto the field once again and show that togetherness to the wider league?
Well, I think it's really important. I think it's really important to show ourselves, and I think it's important to share it with our supporters. I think that's really important. The wider range of everybody else, I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you. It's about us, and it's about us as a group of people trying to achieve it, as staff to want to deliver it, and supporters to want to be part of it. So we've got to kind of do that for us, but and we're in control of that. We control our behaviours, our reactions, and so do the support. So we've got to work together and make sure that we can keep Mill Farm in a better vibe that it currently is. Our record's a little bit better, but I'd like it to get even stronger. So not only does that by getting another 3 points, but I'm sure Hartlepool will have something to say about that.